glad to have you on. We can talk about the Van Meter visitor, which I guess is new to me. I have not heard of that. I had to pull up some information. If you want to go ahead and
No,
let me know about what you know about it.
yeah, sure. So I, to be honest, only found out about it a couple of weeks ago. I believe it's similar to the pterodactyl that
Mhm.
you'd imagine when dinosaurs were around and stuff. The thing that's strange about it, though, is that it somehow emitted a beam from its head. And so, if you think of it, kind of like it's like a unicorn pterodactyl kind of like a beam just shoots out of its head. Some people reported, and apparently never harmed anyone or anything like that. It was just kind of floating around
Mhm.
the town of Van Meter, and I think one day the locals just kind of got fed up with it, and they chased it down to this cave where apparently there was more than one of the creature, and that's been much of it. It was never seen again.
Yeah, I had read some eyewitness accounts here that it had a horrendous memory erasing stench, which I found interesting.
Yeah,
Um, and there was a plaster cast of a three-toed footprint it had left behind. I didn't get really enough chance to look into if originally pterodactyls, what their footprint would have been, any type of
yeah.
like fossil cast or anything like that, to see if it had matched up or if it was a completely different creature. But
Mm.
it's very interesting to find out. It's shot, where is it right here? Fired beams of bright light from its forehead, which is just, I've never heard of
Yeah.
that before in a creature, which is so interesting.
With it having the ability to do that, it really takes out the possibility of it being a normal flesh and blood creature.
Hmm.
Like it really makes you think it could be interdimensional, extraterrestrial, one of those kind of segments. Who knows? That's
Exactly.
the strange thing about it. Yeah.
And do you find that, do you think, in your opinion, a lot of winged cryptids could be interdimensional like that, since they have like certain properties about them, like Mothman, Van Meter, Bat Squatch, anybody like that?
Definitely. I mean, I think one of the main obvious ones would probably be Mothman,
Hmm.
because obviously you've got Mothman over there in the US in Point Pleasant. Over here in England, in Cornwall, they've got a creature that's described very similar called the Owlman,
Oh, yep.
which is described pretty much the same with big glowing red eyes, giant wings, a black silhouette, and it makes you think: is it teleporting? Is it the same creature?
Mhm.
It really makes you think if it's connected in a way.
Yeah, because the Mothman over here in the U.S., I'm not sure how the Owlman's legend goes, but the Mothman over here is kind of a like a harbinger of doom. It can cause accidents.
Mm.
So that kind of falls into the line of like it's interdimensional because it has powers that a normal flesh and blood cryptid wouldn't have.
Yeah, so the Owlman, it was first sighted around this church in a small village in Cornwall. These two girls, I've got the names, were going past by the church, and we saw this large silhouette of like a owl type creature, what the Mothman is described as, and apparently let out this blood curdling screech, and it flew off into the woods. And then yet again, when I think the church was being taken down, apparently the creature came out of the church and scared all the builders off. Apparently, and then yet again, I think a couple was driving past woods near the church. They also kind of saw the creature flying above them for a brief second.
So do you think it would be a teleportation? Mothman, Owlman could be the same creature, or do you think it is two separate cryptids?
I mean, it's obviously hard to say, but
Mhm.
I'd want to go with it. They are possibly maybe the same species or something similar to that.
Yeah. Of the same bloodline type of thing. Yeah, definitely. It's
Yeah,
interesting to
yeah,
think because we have a set of cryptids. It's interesting to have you on today because England has cryptids we don't have in the United States, and the United States has cryptids that you don't have in England. So it's good to kind
yeah.
of reach across and see like, well, are yours ours or ours yours? Is it the same one?
Mm.
But the Van Meter visitor definitely, I'm looking at some pictures now. It's like pterodactyl like in one picture. It's winged in another with, and it kind of has like a Mothman-esque type
Yeah,
of drawing. So it could have possibly been because in 1903, I don't know if Mothman had been visiting yet. So this could have been
Yeah,
an early iteration of a Mothman that people didn't know how to
possibly.
describe.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's interesting. See, oh, that's my wrong cup. That cup blends in with my green screen a bit much, so I'm gonna have to use this one.
yeah.
I want to know a little bit about your channel too before we end, so I can make sure to promote yours
Uh,
on mine to just sense it, you know.
I'll do the same as well.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, so I've always really been into cryptozoology, paranormal.
Mhm,
But I think the main thing that made me start my channel is back in 2019, me and a group of friends actually had an encounter in a village I still live in today, just
mhm.
outside in this private woods, which you're not supposed to go in. It's like covered with barbed wire uh, walls and stuff. And yeah, we had an encounter with a reptilian bear, very similar to the raptors from Jurassic Park. And that's kind of what gave me the feeling that I should start a channel to educate others on the topic.
Mhm.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
that's interesting. Did you ever, you saw it with some friends? Did you guys ever kind of like really go back out, try and do like any like casts of the footprints you might have found, or was it kind of just like a one and done, unexplainable type of situation?
it was a one and done. We were just too scared to even
Yeah.
just go back to the woods. It's a pain because I'm not friends with the people I was with back then,
Hmm.
and when I was friends with them, they didn't really want to believe what it was,
Yeah.
so they didn't want to believe it was some kind of supernatural cryptozoologist kind of creature. They thought oh paranoia or something like that.
Yeah. There's a lot of unexplained things that people just kind of brush off as, oh, it was a misidentification, or oh, that must have been a big
Yeah,
dog you saw. And it's like, I don't know. There's a lot of stuff out there that we're still finding today, like scientifically,
yeah,
even that lends credence to the fact that some of these are real. You just haven't found them yet.
yeah.
It's just so good to see, like, I don't know. I'm just so happy that people are still looking for cryptids as opposed to in this day and age, it's so easy to try and figure out stuff
Yeah.
on it's just the DNA and this and that, but there's stuff that just can't be explained. Like interdimensional things can't be classified with a DNA or anything. Like,
100%, yeah. I mean, I'm sorry to rant on, but over here, obviously, you have Bigfoot over there in the US, which is
yes,
obviously probably the most well-known cryptid.
yep,
Over here, we have a similar type of creature that we call either the wild man
yep,
or the woodwose. And over in the US, you've got a lot of woodland. You've got Alaska, Virginia, loads of woodland. But over here, there's quite a bit, but it's not as much as you've got over there. So
yep,
people over here do tend to go with a theory that the wild men or Bigfoot are interdimensional over here because obviously there's all sorts of reports of people seeing orbs before seeing Bigfoot,
hmm,
just tracks disappearing into thin air, and yeah, a lot of people over here do tend to believe that they are interdimensional, extraterrestrial, or one of those things. Yeah,
yeah. It does lend a bit of reality to the fact that these creatures are seen everywhere.
it does. Yeah,
It's not just like we have Bigfoot here. We do have a lot of woods over in like the Pacific Northwest where Bigfoot is seen a lot. Um,
yeah,
but I know you guys have like the wild man, which is your version of it, like you mentioned.
yeah,
It's just like actual classified animals. They show up in England and in the United States. They're the same animal, but they grew separate where they needed to be in their ecosystem.
yeah.
You know, that happens in real life. Why can't that happen in cryptid life? You can't.
100%. Yeah,
Exactly. It's just like big cats. You guys have a lot of big cats over there, don't you? Like big, unexplained cats are
unexplained stuff.
huge.
Yeah, they are
I know
like
I'm
we
getting
get.
off topic, but sorry.
Yeah, no, it's fine. Yeah, we have all sorts. People report panthers eating livestock.
Hmm.
I mean, especially down in Devon, in places such as Exmoor, for
Hmm.
example, you've got a beast of Exmoor, and it makes you think: are they supernatural, or are they simply just escaped exotic cats that have
Hmm.
bred and a small population now roam the countryside, or are they? Because they're also called alien big cats
Yes.
and shadow cats. So some people do think they may be extraterrestrial, but others think that they're just normal big cats that have been let go.
Yeah. It's just I keep coming back to like the fact that we have alien black cats here, not as much because we do still have like natural like mountain lions, cougars, this and that it
Yeah,
could be, but you can't discount the fact that cryptids are seen everywhere in the world. And if they're not the same cryptid, they're the same type of cryptid. So
yeah,
how are all these stories matching up if it's not real?
yeah.
I'm sorry, I got way off topic with the Van Meter visitor, but I'll let you
It's
go back
completely
onto
fine.
it.
Yeah,
I get very like, there's so much to talk about when it gets down to the cryptid like society or all the
for
stories to
100%. I
share.
mean, I don't mind doing that topic. Yeah,
Okay,
I mean,
good.
I love to talk about loads of different stuff, so I really don't mind
All
doing
right,
it. Yeah.
excellent. Yeah. And what's your hands down favorite cryptid if you had to
Favorite
choose?
cryptid. I was asked this the other day, and I think it's a close tie between the Mothman, because I think
Mhm.
that's just a really badass cryptid type altogether. Or maybe it sounds a bit boring and it most likely is a hoax, but I really like the jackalope. I think there's something like really
Yeah.
cute and aesthetic about it, even
Yep.
though it's just a rabbit with glued on horns. But I think there's really something really
It's
just I just
interesting.
really like it for some reason. Yeah,
Yeah. And Mothman's always been a favorite of mine just due to how it's just he's so dark and mysterious and just
he is. Yeah,
it's been an enduring cryptid for so long.
hundred
Like it
percent. Yeah,
yeah. Oh, I love that. Hold on a second. I got two screens going here. I do want to pull up
right.
the Mothman really quick because I know his legend started in 1966 to 1967, I guess.
Yeah,
Yeah, which is, I mean, you can't say what 40, 60 something years later, people are still seeing him, having festivals in his name. There's new
yeah.
articles coming out about him. It would have died off by now if
Hmm.
it was a one and done type of creature that,
Oh yeah, there's plenty of stuff has died off. Like one encounter, men. I mean, there's the old squonk, which
yeah.
you may or may not know, which is that really
Yeah, the
ugly
Pennsylvania
pig-like
one.
creature. The Pennsylvania one, yeah.
Yeah. The one I was actually going to do an episode about him coming up just because it's just so interesting. His characteristics are just crying and being
It
sad.
is, yeah.
And
You just have to feel sorry for the fella. Like he's always just whimpering off and stuff. Yeah,
that's the thing. You have your cryptids that are just these all powerful interdimensional beings, and then you have cryptids like the squonk that just cry. It's just he's just crying, looking
yeah,
for another squonk running around town. That's all. There are some
yeah.
really interesting different ones. Yeah, I see you have the
Mm.
Flatwoods monster behind you.
I've got the flat. I was debating. So I've got a Flatwoods monster. And I've
Love
also
it.
got a Bigfoot one, which I'll pull out. I've got
Yeah,
this one. I was debating which I should have in my frame. But I thought
yeah.
Flatwoods monster just because I
Flatwoods
think it's a
monster
bit
is
more vibrant.
interesting.
It's very interesting. Yeah,
Now, do you consider, because I know the Flatwoods Monster was um, kind of like alien based, is what they
yeah.
believed. So you do believe like with cryptids, aliens, paranormal, all of that would fall under the cryptid like umbrella, I guess.
I think it's easier just to class them all as cryptids. I mean, there's loads of people who get really angry in Reddit on Reddit groups and Facebook groups, like, no, that's not a cryptid. When you start talking about greys or reptilians,
Mhm.
but in my opinion, I just think it's a lot easier just to class them all as unidentified creatures.
Exactly.
But
Yeah. It doesn't have to be flesh and blood to be a cryptid. That's how I think about it.
not at all. No.
No, not at all. A
Yeah,
cryptid is an unexplained, like you said, an unexplained creature, whether it be the squonk, whether it be an alien, whether it be
yeah,
interdimensional, it's all unexplained. I saw one of your videos. You do a lot of outside investigations also.
I do.
That's awesome. I like that.
I do. Yeah. I like to get into these hot spots around the UK. Yeah, I mean
Yeah.
close by we've got Forest of Bond, which has wild men, big cats, and a couple of dogman reports.
Hmm.
And I went to last summer. I went to the UK's most biggest cryptid hotspot, Cannock Chase, which is down south. There's all these stories there about it. It's got black-eyed children,
Hmm.
dogmen, Bigfoot, ghosts, the supposed Slender Man. If you wanna count that,
Yeah,
'cause that is more of a creepypasta, but
it
it
is,
just
but
adds to the creepiness of the whole place for us. Yeah,
yeah. And you go out by yourself when you go? You're braver than me. I wouldn't go out by myself if I was doing that, I
I'd
guess.
like to. I'd like to say I do. I mean, sometimes the place is closer by. I
Mhm.
do go by myself. Like I'll get dropped off there,
Yeah.
and then I'll just go my separate way, and then I'll just like record and investigate. And then sometimes, because when I went to kind of chase, I was with my dad. So I was like, no, because it was like 10 o'clock at night. I was like, no. All this stuff I'd heard, I just didn't want to go in by myself at pitch black,
Mhm.
knowing I might get taken away by some kind of Bigfoot. So
Yeah,
I just
no.
want that protection, just to know that I'm safe.
Mhm.
But I do like to go out by myself though. Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna start doing that on my channel eventually with the Bridgewater Triangle we have over here. Because I'm right in the middle of the Bridgewater
Oh,
Triangle, so I'm
nice.
gonna go
Okay.
do some stuff outside with that. But that's gonna be only daytime because there's no way I'm going out there at night.
Look forward to it. Yeah.
Yeah, it should be fun. No, thank you very much. I know you did want to do like just a quick little visit, but I'm glad
Yeah.
you were able to meet us today. That's excellent. I'm glad you popped on. Anytime you want to come on the show, pick a topic, give me a call,
Mm,
and we'll definitely set a meeting up.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. No, good to talk to you today. Thank you very much.
Good to talk to you. Too. Thanks for having me on.